Die Staat ist nicht um Gehalt und nicht um Lohn. Die Staat ist um deiner selbst wegen.
Mr. Hitler, what's your opinion of Bernie Ecclestone?
Well, I think he has some very good ideas.
What? That's a bit controversial, isn't it?
Gareth Jones on Speed!
Hello, welcome to Gareth Jones on Speed. I'm Gareth, he's Richard.
Hello.
And the voice of Zog, strangely absent.
Inaudible. What is it? We've got like a shift system going on now on this show. I'm sorry I wasn't there for the last one, but I thought Violet did an admirable job of being...
She was good at being you.
I know, annoyingly a bit good, actually. Slightly out of a job, but anyway.
I doubt it very much. However, she has written a whole episode of Sniff Petrol, and really...
I wish someone would, because I haven't.
It's
been busy.
It's unusual because it's all about video games, and quite frankly, I don't think it's going to get published. Zog, strangely absent, but he does make a virtual appearance via the gift of the iPhone a little bit later in this show, but more on that in a minute. This is a bit of a special show. We've got a report from an event that Richard and I were at recently, coming up, but we thought we should talk about a couple of major things which happened in the world of cars this week first. Where should we start? Should we start with Ari, or should we start with Max, or should we start with Jean? Or all three of them?
Well, all three of them. So, yes, Mosley's stepping down.
Hey! Sorry, did I say anything out loud then?
You tread on a nail there for a moment. An entirely coincidental celebration that I was about to say something really libelous then, but I can't. So he's off, and then it was going to be Ari Vatanen was up for it, and now Jean Todt's up for it, and somebody will. I started to sound like The Apprentice. One of these candidates will become the FIA president.
I feel
who
a
would you
sketch
like
coming on.
It does feel like a sketch. Who would you like it to be, though, is my question to you.
I think Jean Todt would be a mistake. From our point of view, on Speed's point of view, I think Jean Todt being the president opens up a seam of comedy for us, because he's going to do stuff like introducing rules that say that, you know, the aerodynamic rules will remain the same, curves will remain, but all cars will have to be painted red and have a Ferrari badge on them.
How much of a link does he still have with Ferrari? Because I'm just wondering that will he, in the event of some incidents during a race, will Jean Todt start lobbying himself to let them off, which will then happen? It'll be almost no different to the way it is at the moment.
Do you know that he owns part of an island in Malaysia, Jean Todt? And Malaysia,
does he?
Yeah, he's been acting as an ambassador for Malaysia recently.
Right.
And they paid him by giving him a small island. And they did.
Really?
Yeah, the Isle of Todt.
You know, you've been doing some work for Derbyshire Local Authority there. Maybe they could give you like a traffic island or something. And you could just sit on it and shout at motorists. Now, that's what tramps do. I wouldn't do that.
I do the same as well. Yeah. I shout at cars, "Oh, I like your Lotus!"
Yeah, Ari Vatanen's an interesting one as well. I mean, we quite like Ari Vatanen, don't we? He's a ruddy legend, really, in driving terms. And he's also, I mean, from a selfish point of view, quite a few comic elements to him, mostly the way he speaks, which is often incomprehensible. I mean, not Flav level incomprehensible, that would be silly, but he is quite often incomprehensible nonetheless, and that's always good. I would like to see him get it because he seems like a good bloke, and you feel like you might want to go for a pint with him and get him to tell you about rallying. Jean Todt, I don't like him very much.
He just looks like have you seen his fingernails? He bites his fingernails.
Jean Todt does?
Yeah, he's got, if you look at any pictures of Jean Todt, he's got elastoplast. Can we say elastoplast? Other bandages are available. Over all his fingers. I mean, I don't know if that's driven by his years at Ferrari of all the worry and concern, but he's really bites
Really?
He really bites his finger. I mean, he's a grown man. Come on now. Come on. But
I think I'm the only person I know who bites their nails not because I get nervous. I just, when they get long, I could never be bothered to find the fingernail scissors. It's a disgusting habit for which I apologise right now and to everyone who's ever seen me do it. But yeah, I only look. I don't bite my nails because I just
they're very nice.
Yeah, I just trim them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is extraneous information. So Jean Todt bites his nails. That's interesting. A psychologist, right?
Yes, I wonder what that would say. I think it would be a mistake. I don't think he would favour Ferrari in any way if he were president. I think he's a grown-up. I think that would be a big mistake.
Is he? I mean, he is only about 4 foot tall, let's be honest.
But that overriding sense from everyone else who's not running a team based in Maranello that are red is that he might somehow secretly be doing that. And so there's that sense of distrust right from the word go. Even if they can trust him, they wouldn't want to. So I think that would create a friction. And with you on Ari Vatanen, I think Ari Vatanen would be fantastic. I'm concerned that any rules that he may come up with would be incomprehensible.
Well, all the cars that turn up at the start of the season, they've all got a dead seagull nailed to the engine cover.
But he sounds like...
Sorry, we thought that's what he said.
He sounds like he's had that classic Finnish affectation of there being an attack of too many consonants in the middle of a sentence. It's sort of... like a tractor ticking over. You know, it's a problem.
Excellent.
But that's good. Yeah, I think... I also think that the drivers would like him, or the teams would like him, because he's a racer.
Yes.
Or a rallyist.
Yeah, absolutely. A rally. Well, it is now. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose that this is only going to run for a bit, and by the time we do the next show, who knows, will have put their hat into the ring as well.
I'm thinking of running.
Are you?
Yeah, well, you've got to put together a council.
Do you have a vice president?
That's you.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
great.
What's your vice?
Heroin.
That's a good one. That'll do. It's got to be better than Max's. Hello, this is the headquarters of the FAA, is it?
Yes, it is.
My name's Gareth Jones. I was thinking of applying as a candidate for presidency of the FAA, and I was just wondering if there's a form I could have to fill in to go through the procedure.
Yes, there is. It's surprisingly simple. I will get a form for you. Excuse-moi. There is a fax coming through from Ari Vatanen. Oh, no way. It actually is Ari Vatanen.
Steph Petrol with Gareth Jones on speed!
What were we going to talk about? Oh, I know what we were going to just get a quick canter through other stuff. I was going to talk about the new Jaguar XJ, which was announced last week, and I've been to see that car a couple of times now. If you've seen the pictures of it, all I'll say is that I think it is a real grower and a very clever bit of design. But there's a lot of things to talk about with that, so maybe we'll have a little trot through that in the next programme when Zog's here, because he always has very clever views on these things.
Yeah, it would be a shame to hurry it through now, because we've got a lot already to come in this show. Not least of all, an interview with probably the fastest man on wheels, I think, near enough, we could say that.
Well, he was during the 80s, certainly.
Yeah, and I think he will be again, but I don't want to give too much away about that. Any other business? I don't think Sebastian Bourdais gone?
Yeah. Other news from our unsurprising desk. Actually, I'll tell you something that I think is news from our unsurprising desk is that Mark Webber's won a race, which, you know, it's been a long time coming, but fair play to the bloke. He deserves it.
It's a shame Zog's not here, because Zog is a massive Mark Webber fan, and anyone who could get a 6th place in a Minardi, as he did all those years ago, has got to be a good peddler.
Yeah, he's one of those people you sort of forget that he's quite good, because he sort of sometimes has the whiff of mid-ranking about him, and then suddenly he pulls something really good out. And also, you know, everyone in the first part of this season was focusing on Vettel, or Fettel, or however you meant to say it. For Vettel. And, you know, poor old Webber just seemed to be the second fiddle, the Rubens, if you will.
My belief...
No, actually, Gareth, no, I'm sorry, I've just realised, look, you know, you're not pulling together as a team. I think you're deliberately hobbling me so that I'm the second in this. You're favouring the other participants in this podcast to try and win the podcast thing. Sorry, I just came over all Rubens then.
Oh, Rubens. Broke his heart, didn't he?
Bless him. I'd love Rubens. But I don't know. I hope he sort of regrets that. But at the same time, I think it was great, because it's so rare that you see a Formula One driver saying what they really think.
Yeah.
You know, even though Lewis Hamilton is a changed man this season, I think, and is very cheery and very realistic about his prospects, he's never actually openly come out and said the car is a complete pile of old rubbish. Because he's a professional, he's been well-groomed, well-trained through many years, and he would never have that kind of outburst. He's much more controlled. And Rubens, with his Brazilian temperament, suddenly goes a bit nuts in a post-race interview.
I've never heard him do that before.
He seems to be a pretty even-tempered sort of man, but, you know, obviously that's how strongly he felt about it.
And very well thought of in the paddock. Everyone who ever mentions Rubens Barrichello says, well, he's a very honest, probably the nicest guy in the paddock in terms of drivers. And to hear him come out with that statement where he said he didn't want to listen to the blah, 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 and the team lost the race. Great entertainment. That's how F1 used to be, wasn't it? Before they could say, well, you know, we got a great package, the tyres worked well, the engine was great, and the team did a great job, which is what everyone else says. But I've got this theory, coming up to Mark Webber, I know we leapt away for a minute, I think all the drivers, PK included, in the F1 grid are of a standard. They are all exceptional drivers. They wouldn't even be...
now Bourdais gone, we can say that.
So cruel. But I think he was good, actually, I do. But I think given the right equipment, that's when you notice the great difference. And now that the Red Bulls and previously the Toro Rossos had great cars, you can see that little subtle difference that makes the difference between being a winner or coming 12th. And there's not that much in the grid.
No, there's not.
What about Adrian Sutil?
Yes.
Unbelievable! Was he running second at one point in the race? I think he was.
Yeah, I think he might have been. He was definitely podium material. I suppose not really, but at least he was there. He got to taste the cool, clear air of the front of the pack for once, which must be a novelty for him. And also, I suppose a brief mention for Hamilton sticking it high up the grid. And actually, let's not forget as well, Kaki Hovaloven, who didn't have those aero changes. That's
it, yeah.
He didn't have the aero changes that Hamilton had. That basically, they'd broken up a Reliant scimitar and then just glued bits of it to the front with gaffer tape, wasn't it? It was just bits of glass fibre stapled on.
I thought I saw the word ogle.
Well, that's right, that's right. And they both did really well in qualifying and then had another nightmare race.
They reckon they might get a win in Hungary, That's what they're saying, McLaren. They reckon they could go for a win. Yeah, we'll see. Ambitious, the way things are at the moment.
Before we go on with the rest of this podcast, I've got some freshly cooked pig wings in the fridge if you'd like one, if you're a bit hungry. I also got some cheese to go with it. It's moon cheese.
Gareth Jones on Speed Special Report.
It being the summer and there been lots of motorsport events to go to, Richard and I went to an event I've never been to before. I've been to the Goodwood Revival, which is basically a fancy dress period piece for cars and people.
Yes.
But I'd never been to the Festival of Speed before. Have you been before?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I've been once before. And
it's wonderful, isn't it?
It's fantastic, yeah. It's almost hard to explain, but if you have any amount of petrol in your blood, then you should see a doctor. But also, so I was going to embark on an analogy or a metaphor and realise it's rubbish. But if you do care about cars, it is the most wonderful weekend you can possibly spend. And also, the one that we went to, which you're about to hear little excerpts from, beautiful weather as well. And that just makes it so it's that proper sort of glorious English countryside, and you go to this fantastic old stately home, and then you see these cars being ragged up Lord March's driveway.
Bless him.
And then you can have a little wander around and have a look at them in the paddock, and there's just, name a supercar, and there's probably two of them there. There were Veyrons, Koenigsegg's, KTM crossbows, everything.
Rough
Porsches, which is, you don't see those every day.
Oh, every other day, maybe.
Orange McLaren SLR.
Oh.
And
all the McLaren SLRs in a row. The 722, the first model, the Sterling Moss.
The Sterling Moss being driven by...
who was it? Sterling someone, I forget his name.
No, it's gone.
Yeah, right. My only grudge with Goodwood is that I wish every motoring periodical wouldn't have the same headline. Whenever they review or report Goodwood, they always have the same headline: Glorious Goodwood.
Yes, I know. It's
There are other words you can use: gorgeous Goodwood, grand Goodwood, great Goodwood, but it's always that one. Anyway, here it is, the report that we recorded for you at Glorious Goodwood. And this part actually starts on a very special day for me in the supercar paddock.
Paddock, we are about to pull the supercars out from the top exit in order to line up to go out onto the hill. But all drivers ensure that they both themselves and their passengers are correctly attired with long sleeves and long trousers, and the open top cars must have passenger and driver wearing full face helmet. Many thanks.
Sunday, July the 5th, it's my 48th birthday and I'm in the supercar paddock at Goodwood Festival of Speed, standing next to a Lotus Evora, and the man who's going to drive me up the hill, Tony Shute. Tony.
Hi.
Have you been up this hill before?
Well, I've never driven up it, but I do quite a lot of hill climbing, so I'm quite looking forward to this circuit. It looks very challenging. It's quite technical and quite quick.
The quickest time I think ever recorded at this hill is something like 42 seconds.
42 seconds, yeah. We won't be breaking that today.
Any estimations of what our time will be?
I really don't know. I guess it's going to be 1 minute something. Yeah, we'll see.
And you've been involved in the development of the Evora, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been program manager, so I've had overall responsibility for this car, right the way from concept right through to production, which is what we're involved in right now. It's quite a busy time at Lotus as we start to build up the number of cars we do per week.
And how many are you aiming for in the next month or two?
We'll be getting about 70 to 100 cars out over the next 4 weeks, so it's a very, very busy time for us.
That's pretty intense. And you're going to shift a few of these, them being 2+2s, but they're still pure Lotus, aren't they? It's a handling car.
Well, hopefully you're about to see that as we go up the hill.
I hope it's a good test of it, really, isn't it?
If we compromise the ride and handling, it wouldn't be a Lotus, so that's what it's all about.
Do we need to get rolling? I noticed that the Tesla that was parked next to us is gone. Does that mean we need to follow?
Yes, we do. We ought to be going, really.
Let's get in the car then.
Okay.
Here we go. We were told not to do too many donuts, and that this was a demonstration, not a race. As we approach the start now. So do they let us off every minute, every 2 minutes?
No, I would say about every 20 seconds, something like that. They try and get the people up. There's so many cars to be done. That's us.
It's great hearing people, look at that, it's the best car yet. Bit of a log jam as a McLaren Mercedes SLR comes the other way.
It's a subtle colour.
That's McLaren's orange, isn't it? That's the Can-Am orange, isn't it? The default McLaren colour.
There's Lewis.
Ah, there's a Mr. Lewis Hamilton to our right there. That'll be his McLaren, sir.
Yeah.
Just turning us round and lining us up. We've got the Crossbow behind us from KTM, Koenigsegg's, Lamborghini. Is that Marcos? No?
No, that's the Ginetta.
The Ginetta, of course.
Yeah. GT3 Porsche.
Z4 Drive 35i. I think I might enjoy this, Tony.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. Watch the advantage off the line, see how its traction does.
He'll put some rubber down for us, I would imagine.
So this is where you're going to tell me the way to go, yeah?
For the car in front. Coming towards me is a lime green XKR with Richard Porter in it that he's going to turn around. You want to get yourself something a bit more powerful, mate?
It's a subtle colour, that.
Get yourself something a bit more lime green, mate.
I do love the Morgan Aero. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's the Spanish thing that looks like a whale. What's it called? The Tramontana, that's it. You don't see many of them. Well, the waiting is finally over. There are two cars. There goes the first of the two of them. In front of me on the line, I'm going to close the window. Actually, I'm just going to hear the Vantage and the car in front of it go first. And then it's our turn to go up the hill. You might want to put a clock on this. If you've got a stopwatch. Okay, listen to the Vantage go. V12 engine. And then it's us. There's a Tesla waiting to go, but you won't hear that go. Right, where next? Oh, that's just warming up the tyres before the start. That wasn't actually the start.
It's using the traction control.
Yeah. There's a lady standing in front of us. You shall not pass, she says. Okay, it's clear. There goes the Aston. And here we go. I'll be quiet so you can hear this. thrown back into the car. Big clonk as we slam into second. The first right-hander comes up. It's about 80 degrees right. Tony gets lined up nicely. We're on the outside of the corner. Camera flashes. Underneath the bridge, past the grandstand. Under the bridge now. 300 metres, 200 metres, 100 metres to a left-hander. Here we go. I'm going to make sure my big fat elbow isn't poking in Tony's way. It's cosy in here. Quite a lot more generous than Elise. As we slam on the brakes, there's a great stone wall to the left. Hay bales all around. I can see it indicating 80 miles per hour at the moment. I don't think this is the fastest section on the course. To the finish, as we cross the line, doing about 92, I'd say. Well, I don't know how long that was, but from my point of view, it wasn't long enough. We were just getting warmed up. Tony, well done. How was that? All right.
Yeah, I need to do it again now. Slowed through one of the sections, could have carried her probably another 30, 40 mile an hour, but the rest of it's okay. See, the brakes on this car are pretty awesome.
They are phenomenal and smooth.
Yeah.
There's no thumping and banging.
No.
You know, that was a gentle, compliant, classic Lotus ride. What fun. And at the end, look at that. We've got Atoms, we've got Cosworths, and just thousands and thousands and thousands of people. What a treat. As we're waved round in front of a fleet of 5 McLaren SLRs. Good Lord. That was fun. Wouldn't mind doing that again. Soon. Thank you, Tony. Thank you very much indeed.
I enjoyed it.
Utterly. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
I was going to say there's nothing nicer than blasting up the hill at Goodwood, watching Bugatti Veyrons follow you up. That's unbelievable. But there is actually something better than that. That's meeting one of your best mates, Richard Porter, at the top of the hill. Richard, you came up in an XKR.
Yeah, sorry. I'm childishly excited about this whole thing. It's brilliant. But yeah, I came up in Jaguar have made a one-off XKR, which I think they're calling the XKR Goodwood, and it's lime green.
It's very lime green.
Very lime green with these black 21-inch wheels on it, and they've fiddled with the suspension. They've taken off the torque limiter on the engine that's usually there to protect the gearbox for customer cars, so it's got a bit more grunt. But the main ingredient that's made this so ridiculously good fun, it's coming up the hill here, was it was being driven by Mike Cross, who's sort of Jaguar's, I don't know what his official job title is, but he's basically the gaffer, the man who sets up all their cars and signs them off, and he's their chief test driver and whatever. He's also a man who knows how to drive sideways very, very much. Even on a narrow drive.
You've got the right car to go sideways there.
Man, it was amazing. Because obviously he's done it before as well a lot, and he knows the car really well, so he's just utterly relaxed. At one point he just put one front wheel on the grass just to give himself enough room to get the tail right out on this sort of single track bit of driveway. It was amazing. I was laughing like a loon.
I just understood the term commitment.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man, these people are just shake their hands. They are. I wouldn't dare do any of that. What you don't realise, even sort of seeing it on TV and even watching it from the stands, is how narrow when you're in a car actually going up. And that bit where the wall comes out. I mean, I've seen that on telly, but it's even narrower in real life.
As we came to that bit where the wall just suddenly leaps out at you, I suddenly thought, I wish I was in an Elise. My Evora is too fat, it's too wide. We got through, and I suppose if what's the widest car here? The Veyron?
I don't know, Veyrons are pretty wide. There's a 7 Series, Alpina 7 Series has come up.
Yeah.
My mate Henry from Evo's in that VXR8 Bathurst. They're pretty big cars. So, yeah, there's some hefty stuff here. And the Panamera, Porsche Panamera.
It's huge, isn't it?
Which is huge, and also quite horrid.
Oh, Dino, look at that Dino. Oh, I've had a happy accident.
So, Chris Evans, just to fill people in, Chris Evans is here with 7 of his Ferraris that are all white.
Oh, he's brought the black one up, he says.
He's brought the black one up. He's got things like a 288 GTO, which is probably my favourite sort of Ferrari of the modern age. And And that's white as well. It looks all right, actually. It's not...
Well, look at that F40, absolutely cooking smoke out the back.
That's not good at all.
I like to think that I've contributed to Chris Evans' success, because he bought Scottish Television or the Scottish Media Group at one point, and that would have been nothing without my programme How To. So
it wouldn't. Exactly.
I've earned money for him.
He owes you money.
I paid for some of these cars. I'm going to go and tell him.
Give you the 288 GTO as compensation. I think that seems fair.
I'm going to go and have a word.
You do.
All right. So what's your favourite? All these here. Come on,
that's a horrible smell of clutch smoke. Oh, that's not nice. Oh dear. That's sick. That car's sickly. Oh dear. What's
have you got a favourite? You're going to say the Veyron,
I have a special attachment to this Jaguar that we're standing near, just because it's just brought me up there in a rather dramatic way, and I quite like the fact it's lime green, because no one was expecting that, so it's quite funny to do that. But no, I like the look of the Ferrari California, the new one here. It looks a lot better in real life than it does in the photo, so I'm sort of I like that. What's your choice?
I've got to answer the phone first. Hang on. It's Zog. Hang on, Zog. Let me call you back in 2 minutes. What's my favourite car here? Do you know what? I know you're going to thump me, but that Tramontana, that crazy...
No.
Is it Spanish or Portuguese?
Spanish, yeah.
I like it because it's so ridiculously ugly, and you know I like ugly cars.
I know you do, but I couldn't possibly sanction anything like that. I have to say also that there's a Veyron. I can't remember which special edition Veyron it is, but it's the one with the chrome, chrome exterior.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a Veyron, you might as well go really silly and have a...
Yeah, there's no point hiding the fact that you've got one of the flashiest cars in the world.
Anthony Reid, the gentleman lunatic.
As I turned up...
I should just qualify that one. I mean, he's a really lovely bloke. We work with him on Top Gear and he's such a gent, but when you get him in a car, he is as fast and as Larry as anyone. He's a legend. It's weird, isn't it? It's car spotting and celeb spotting at the same time. It's dog ringing me now. So, Kelly, I'm with Gareth. We're just recording something. I'll give you a shout back. All right. Hang on, I'll put you on speakerphone. Maybe we'll pick you up. Hang on. So now we're three.
Yeah.
So, Kelly, mate.
So, did you see us going up the hill?
Yes, I wasn't in quite as good a camera spot as I was half an hour before, but I've got you coming up the hill. Yeah.
You know the lime green Jagsog? I was in that.
Oh, blimey!
But you didn't know that because I didn't know that until about 2 hours ago.
Zog, I think you should know that I'm standing about 20 foot away from Sterling Moss. Sterling Moss, you might have heard of him.
Oh, yeah, yes, that's
I'm going to go over and give him a big kiss on his head from you. Will that do?
That'll be fine. Where are you guys?
We're at the top of the hill where they've sort of put all the supercars that were in the race up the hill in a sort of a paddock. You won't believe what we've got here. Lotus Exige, Tri-Fuel, Mitsubishi i-MiEV, 2 Veyrons, Ferrari, Daytona, California, too much. You name it, it's here, honestly.
Have they got any good ice cream there?
Ice cream? They've got Jodie Marsh. Will that do?
Jodie Kidd. No?
Jodie Kidd, not Jodie Marsh. That's a big mistake.
I think we're going. Back.
We're going. We're going to jump back in the cars. All right, we'll see you down the bottom of the hill.
See you soon.
Yeah, see you in a bit.
Richard,
all right, see you later.
Stop enjoying yourself, and I'll see you down the bottom of the hill later.
See you down the bottom.
Bye,
cheers,
man.
mate. See you later.
Gareth Jones on speed at the Goodwood Festival of Speed.
I read in a magazine recently that perhaps it might be a good idea to forget ever trying to have a British motor show and make Goodwood the official British motor show.
I've heard worse ideas, because I'll tell you what, you can get close to the cars. Unlike a motor show, you can see them running, so you can hear what they sound like, even what they smell like sometimes, and then you get to enjoy a bit of fresh air in beautiful surroundings, and you just think this is so much nicer than the Birmingham NEC. Why not? The only thing is, I'm sort of loath to promote Goodwood a little bit more. This sounds terribly snobbish and annoying, but the thing is, it's just about perfect at the moment. The 2 occasions I've been, it's never been sort of too crowded. You can get around, you can get to see stuff, and that's my phone going off. Sorry.
That happens. Listen, you answer the phone, and I'll introduce the next bit.
Hello, Gareth's here. Can I give you a call back in a minute? Okay, I'll call you back. All right, bye.
That's not Richard Noble, is it?
It was. He said, don't tell that anecdote you're about to tell about me.
OK, I won't. Instead, I'll say, as Richard said, there's loads to do at Goodwood. Watch cars, see cars in pavilions. And there was also a display there from Richard Noble, who's attempting to go Mach 1.4 in his latest world land speed record car. He's not going to drive it, obviously. Andy Green.
Andy Green's going to drive it, who I met at Goodwood, in fact, because when I went up the hill in that green XKR, he was the next car up. He was driving the Jaguar Bonneville speed car.
Must have been a bit slow.
And I was introduced to him. Well, this is the thing. I was introduced to him, and I was all giddy with the excitement of everything. I mean, not as giddy as when you heard just there after I'd been up the hill, but it was Andy Green. He was leaning on the XFR Bonneville car, and I went, now, when you go up the hill in this, there will be a few things you're probably not used to. They're called corners. And he went, yeah, I've driven up here before.
Oh.
And I thought, oh dear, he doesn't like me now. Oh. He seemed very nice. He thinks I'm an idiot, but he seemed very nice. And extremely heroic as well, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Top man. Fastest man on wheels.
Yeah. He's pretty brisk in the air as well, because he's a fighter pilot.
That's right. And a mathematician as well. He's done all the calculations involved.
Andy Green has?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's principally a mathematician. If you go to the Bloodhound SSC website, you can see some calculations he's done there in terms of the ecological impact of the Bloodhound project.
Right.
Hell of a vehicle, by the way. Hell of a vehicle. It's got the jet engine from a Eurofighter Typhoon in it, and then a really great rocket strapped on top, like a booster, to get it up to Mach 1.4. How is it all going to work? Well, I asked the man who's behind the project, Richard Noble. Richard Noble, thrilled to see you at the Goodwood Festival of Speed.
Very kind of you to say so.
And clearly the fastest man here, or the man with the fastest project here.
Yeah, that's about right, yes.
How's it going?
It's going very well. It's a huge, huge programme. I mean, we're heading for Mach 1.4, which is about 1,000 miles an hour.
That's not something you can do straight out of the box,
no,
is it?
Isn't. You've got to build up the speeds very, very gradually. The technology, we've only been to Mach 1.03, so there's a huge gap. So we've got to predict the performance very carefully and then go out and do it. So we're getting very close to building the car now, so we should start building the car in the autumn.
You're about to sign off the aerodynamic profile of the car, is that right?
That's correct, yes. We should get that done in the next 6 weeks.
Has that been a difficult process?
It really has. It's taken about 18 months' work to actually get there. We're doing something that's never been done before, so it's not easy to find your solutions.
As a Welshman, I have to say I'm thrilled to see that Swansea University are involved, who are leaders in computational fluid dynamics, I believe.
Absolutely you are, and of course what happened was you working with Ron Ayres did the aerodynamics on Thrust SSC, and as a result of that Swansea got some very substantial business from Airbus.
How is the finance looking? Because it's a difficult time to launch any project, and one as ambitious as this. Are you 50% of the way there, 20% of the way there?
No, absolutely nothing like, no. Where we are at the moment is the project's growing very, very fast, and a number of good things happen in a recession. One is that a lot of companies basically find themselves with smaller order books, and so they have excess capacity. And so they're always interested in actually making parts for us and so on, so that's very helpful. The money situation is really very interesting. It's growing very fast. We've been here at Goodwood. We've had a number of people wanting to sponsor. And what we're finding is that it's knocking out the more fluffy sort of projects. But our project's a little unusual in that our job is to create a new generation of engineers in Britain. So we're running it through all the schools, and the schools are signing up at about 100 a week now. So Excellent. We're up to 1,200 schools on the programme now. And the interesting thing about the land speed record is that we can share all the technology on the car, all the data and the technology with the schools. And that's something that other motorsports simply can't do, and defence industry can't do, and space can't do. So it's absolutely unique.
So you're the British equivalent of NASA, a one-man operation, really, and the kind of, the feedback to, young people and the kind of extreme level of this project is akin to the Apollo program 40 years ago. Do you draw inspiration from that kind of thinking? I mean,
I think there's a very, very important difference. And the difference is simply this, that with NASA, that is controlled and run by the government and funded by the government, and always was. With us, we're bottom-up. So in other words, we come from the grassroots. And so, for instance, with all those schools, there are 1,200 schools, those are the teachers. Those aren't the headmasters signing up. Those are the teachers signing up. So it's a grassroots revolution. I think it makes it very strong.
You do realise that you are one of the people responsible for turning the World Wide Web into a powerful communication tool. From my personal point of view, the first web event that was driven by its presence on the web was Thrust SSC. You turned the web round. Is the whole media part of this built into the programme? Presumably the media rights that you will sign for this will pay for a big part of the project. Hopefully.
You wait and see. No, going back to Thrust SSC, I think it was really very interesting because we decided to go with the web in a big way. We use it as a device to build community. We found out that what people like more than anything else is technology, so we gave them more and more technology. And eventually our website ran 59 million visitors in 1997. And that is 35 times the size of a current top Formula One team. So if we did 59 million visitors, and most visitors do about 5 pages, so that's 300 million pages, we think with Bloodhound we should get to 3 billion pages a year. That's the kind of scale of it.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck. It's something that I've been passionate about since I'm small, Land Speed Records, and to meet a living legend, a man who holds the teams. Seriously.
That's rubbish. No.
I barely remember Campbell's days, but I do just about, and Cobb just about. But to meet a legend, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much indeed.
And
My
good
pleasure.
luck.
Thank you.
Gareth Jones, Land Speed, meeting our heroes and interviewing them. Brilliant!
I make no apologies for dribbling a little bit while I was talking to him and frothing at the mouth. He genuinely is a hero for me. You know, this man is going to be down in history for the man behind those projects. So I'm a big fan of the whole Thrust project.
Can I tell you, it was the anecdote I was going to tell you before about Richard Noble. It's a bit weird, this, but...
Hang on. If you're a lawyer, can you just subscribe to another podcast now and not listen to this one? Go on, what is it?
No, it's nothing really bad. It's just a little-known fact about my colleague Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear, who is not adverse to sometimes getting the train to London.
No!
Yeah, he doesn't always drive down. If he's coming down for a meeting and he's maybe going for lunch and he wants to have a glass of wine, he does very occasionally get the train into Paddington Station. And I once met him there and we just went for a coffee because we had to talk about some stuff. And he said... A lot of the time when I'm walking through Paddington, this is a few years ago now, I see Richard Noble having a meeting in the coffee shop here. What? He said, no, it's happened several times. I see Richard Noble having meetings. And we were trying to think, why would Richard Noble be having meetings on Paddington Station? The only reason I could come up with is so that while he's talking to these people, he can casually point at one of the intercity trains and go, see those? I've been faster than them.
In that case, why doesn't he have meetings at the TGV station and the bullet train?
Well, maybe you don't see him anymore because now he's at St Pancras by the Eurostar because that goes quicker.
So, if you're travelling by Eurostar, will you just look out for Richard Noble for
us? Keep your eyes peeled.
You've been listening to Richard Porter.
Goodbye.
Me, Gareth Jones. We're back soon with another Gareth Jones on Speed, full of, Jaguar stuff and lots of other stuff.
FIA stuff and F1 stuff, and I'm getting a new car tomorrow. We'll talk about that.
And the little special Lotus I've just spent the last 10 days in. It's a bit special, this one. I'll tell you about it the next show. See ya.
Get more info on this show at garethjones.tv. Write to the show on speed at garethjones.tv or subscribe for free at the iTunes store. Gareth Jones on Speed is made by Whizbang.